following may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Westmoreland's most wanted captured by police. The man deemed Westmoreland's most wanted, Everton Chucky Silent, has been captured by police. The 30-year-old was arrested during an operation in Manchester on Wednesday, the police say in a release. They did not disclose where in the parish he was caught. The police say Silent, a labourer of Darling Street in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland, is wanted for the murder of 25-year-old Shane Price, also of Darling Street. The police say about 5:30 p.m. on November 29th last year, Silent and his co-accused O'Dane Irving rode up to Price on a motorcycle and opened gunfire, hitting Price all over the body with bullets. Price was taken to hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead. Irving turned himself into the police on December 4th, but Silent remained at large until Wednesday when he was arrested. Silent is the second wanted man to be caught by the police in Manchester recently. Last month, 26-year-old Fitzroy Kaur, also called OJ, who the police described as a key lieutenant in the Lion Paw gang operating in Effortville, Clarendon, was killed during an intelligence-driven operation in Mayday, Manchester, the police reported. Kaur was also a member of the Bucks Common or Buckner gang. A woman with whom he was staying was also arrested for harboring a fugitive. Silent and Irving have been charged with murder and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. The date for their court appearance is being finalized, the police say. Barbados fines British couple £4,500 for breaking COVID rules to have threesome with Jamaican. Andrew Luker and Julia Knightley were slapped with a £4,000 fine for breaching the island's strict coronavirus laws after sneaking Michaela Jackas, 24, into their luxury hotel room. It is claimed that a security guard saw Miss Jackas, a Jamaican, hop over the wall of five-star Treasure Beach Hotel after midnight on December 30th to join the couple in their room. Cops were called 2 hours later and Jackas was discovered with the couple on their patio of the Colony Club Hotel, Porters in St. James. Mr. Luker and Miss Knightley appeared January 8th at Magistrate Court in St. Thomas before Chief Magistrate Ian Weeks for breaching COVID regulations. Knightley, 42, a beautician and qualified nurse from Cheadle-Hulme, Manchester, and 46-year-old crane engineer Luker from Rochdale, Greater Manchester, both pleaded guilty. They were each fined £2,200 and freed on £7,000 bail, but warned they would be jailed for 9 months if they didn't pay within 7 days, the Royal Barbados Police said. Michaela Jackas told Mail Online she had taken part in the threesome with Luker and Knightley. She said, "Yes, I was with the two of them, Andrew and Julia, but I don't want to bash them. They are nice people. It's no one's business what me do with my time and who I do it with." A pal of Jackas told Mail Online that she had returned to Jamaica following her arrest with the British couple. They said she had no idea she was going to get so much publicity, and so she has gone home. Luker and Knightley arrived in Barbados on December 28 last year as cases soared in the small island nation, which has reported 7 COVID deaths. Miss Knightley, a mom of 4 and a qualified nurse, said ignorance of the law was no excuse for their actions. She admitted to knowing they could not leave the hotel while awaiting test results, but claimed she didn't know that they could not invite guests to their room. Mr. Luker said he regretted what had happened, adding, Beyond that, there is nothing to say besides to apologize. Passing sentence, Chief Magistrate Weeks said the couple's behavior could have sparked a disaster on the island had they infected her, and said he's baffled by their actions. Knightley made national news headlines several years ago when she used provocative images of herself in revealing underwear to promote her cosmetic clinic. The couple arrived on the island on December 28 and left on January 9th. The name of the Jamaican is Michaela Jackass. Does anyone think the name Jackass fits her behavior? Please let me know in the comment section. It comes after Love Island star Zara Holland, 25, was slapped with a £4,500 fine after trying to flee Barbados with partner Elliot Love after he tested positive for coronavirus.
Hi, Zara. Anything to say before you go?
Good afternoon, everyone. We just accepted the decision of the court. Ms. Holland once again wants to express her sincerest apologies to the entire nation of Barbados. But at this point, we have no further questions or comments that we take on this point. Thank you. Excuse me?
Don't walk. Shani.
Jamaicans flock to COVID black-market testing sites. Hundreds of Jamaicans are reportedly turning to unauthorized COVID-19 laboratories and makeshift facilities for antigen rapid tests as government's insufficiency is being blamed for a rising underground market with questionable ethical practices. Last week, the Ministry of Health and Wellness revealed a list of 8 laboratories approved to administer public antigen tests, but according to some private medical practitioners, that list may have come too late as the unapproved testing market is thriving locally. Besides, Sunday Gleaner checks on Thursday revealed that at least 5 of the labs named by the government will not offer antigen testing for another week, while 2 others said they do not offer any type of COVID-19 tests. This leaves the average Jamaican with little option to find out whether or not he or she has been infected with the dreaded coronavirus that has so far infected 13,455 persons locally, with 311 deaths. As it is, Jamaicans who cannot afford a polymerase chain reaction PCR test for up to $22,000 have been visiting the unauthorized drop-in labs. One of them, a tent hidden at the back of a St. Andrew Plaza. At these locations, antigen tests cost as much as $12,000 less than PCR tests, and advertising for clients is limited to WhatsApp messages and word of mouth. These unauthorized outlets, some posing as more established labs to bolster public credibility, have placed the responsibility squarely on customers to report positive numbers to the Health Ministry. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tofton confirmed yesterday that any positive COVID-19 results at these underground facilities are not included in the official tally. Tests that are done by entities not authorized by the MOH are not reported to the MOH, he said in response to queries from the Sunday Gleaner. The MOH is concerned about unauthorized tests and the impact on the availability and accuracy of data for planning, particularly for a new public health threat like COVID-19. The MOH cannot validate the accuracy of tests done at these facilities, Tofton emphasized, adding that test procedures and skills training are among other issues to consider. So we say to persons that are accessing tests at unauthorized facilities that you are doing so at your own risk. Last week, the Gleaner's reporter of this story was able to do an antigen test at one of the unauthorized facilities using a fake name and fake address, which further compromises government's ability to conduct contact tracing for the dreaded respiratory disease. After paying a fee of $8,500, customers were asked to return to their vehicle, where a representative dressed in personal protective equipment (PPE) administered the nose swab from the patient's car seat. "We only tell you," assured a worker, taking a register inside the tent at the makeshift lab. He said at least one person had tested positive for COVID-19 last week, but I have only been working here for a few days now. Practitioners operating unauthorized sites claim some see up to 150 patients per day. Within 40 minutes, however, the Gleaner's news team observed only 5 persons being tested or inquiring at the site visited. Most pedestrians drove up, but pedestrian Martin Smith said, "Just come over to ask because me woulda loved to do one, and $8,000 don't sound too bad." California nurse tests positive for COVID 8 days after COVID vaccine.
Health experts weighing in after a local nurse tested positive for COVID-19 8 days after receiving the Pfizer vaccine. As ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen tells us, a doctor involved with the local vaccine rollout says this case does not reveal anything about the vaccine's effectiveness.
This was a Facebook post from Matthew, an ER nurse at 2 different local hospitals after receiving the Pfizer vaccine December 18th. He tells me his arm was sore for a day, but he suffered no other side effects. 6 days later, on Christmas Eve, after working a shift in the COVID unit, he became sick, he writes in another Facebook post. He got the chills and later came down with muscle aches and fatigue. The day after Christmas, he went to a drive-up hospital testing site and tested positive for COVID-19.
Not unexpected at all, and when you work through the numbers, this is exactly what we would expect to happen if someone is exposed.
Dr. Christian Ramers is an infectious disease specialist on the clinical advisory panel for the county's vaccine rollout. He points out it's possible Matthew may have been infected before receiving the vaccine, as the incubation period may be as much as 2 weeks. But Dr. Ramers says if Matthew did contract it after the vaccine, it's still in line with what we know.
And we also know from the vaccine clinical trials that it takes about 10 to 14 days for you to start to develop protection from the vaccine.
Dr. Raymer says he knows of several other local cases where healthcare workers became infected around the time they received the vaccine. He says all of these cases illustrate that results are not immediate. And even after you start receiving some protection, it is not full protection.
That first dose gives you, we think, somewhere around 50% protection, and then you need that second dose to get up to 95%.
Dr. Raymer says Matthew's story also shows that even with vaccines, the pandemic isn't going to turn around instantly.
Optimistic about, the vaccine being the beginning of the end, but it's going to be a slow roll for weeks to months as we roll out the vaccine.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
Dr. Raymer says this case is a good reminder of why masks, hand washing, and other protocols are important even after receiving the vaccine. Meanwhile, Matthew tells us he's feeling better since his symptoms peaked Christmas Day, but he still feels tired.